Yay! Welcome to my mid-year check-in. This is kind of a review, stroke a check-in, stroke plans for the second half of my year, stroke a little bit of vulnerability. I have a few things I want to talk about, so this video might be a mishmash of things that don't kind of make sense but do, because I just want to talk about the mid-year, first half of the year, plans for the second half of the year, life, and just things that are going on. Firstly though, I want to apologise for my lack of consistency in being on here. I'm certainly not as consistent as I planned, as I wanted to be, and I've been trying lately not to beat myself up about that, which is really hard because it really goes against me and how I work and what I wanted for this channel. Because I started it maybe 2 or 3 years ago and it's been a struggle. Not the channel's been a struggle, just everything's been a struggle. And I know I'm not the only one when I say that. We've had COVID, we've had some crazy years, and I think we're all still kind of reeling from coming out of that. I know I am. But yeah, I just wanted to apologise, and I'm not going to make any promises because that just sets me up to fail, and so if I fail then I feel worse, then I don't come on and it kind of gets into a bad cycle. So I will try to be consistent, more consistent, but I'm not promising to be more consistent. This is just a try for me rather than you, and I'm just sorry about that. I do enjoy being here, it's just a struggle to get here, especially with the household I live in. I have to film a lot of videos in the car, which is kind of annoying because even then there's people walking past and I have to find the right spot and I have to find the time to do it, and it drives me nuts. And then trying to edit the videos with such a busy house, it's just completely crazy. But I made this channel to share my writing journey, to maybe make some friends share my knowledge, but part of that writing journey is these crazy years, and so I suppose the journey is a realistic journey, and if you are like me with your writing career just struggling to get everything done, know that you are not alone, and I know I'm not. The other thing I wanted to talk about, especially in this mid-year, is I've not been feeling 100% kind of up here. It's like I say, it's been a struggle, but I've been feeling like quite down with it. And we recently finished Jigsaw Girl. If you like British crime, you can go get this book. It's out in paperback, it's out in Kindle now. Reviews are coming back. Thank you to those who read it and have sent messages. We really love hearing those, and it just makes my day to get a positive message about the book. But since we finished that, I closed the book, closed the laptop, and gave myself permission to have a couple of weeks off just doing stuff about the house, sorting cupboards out, going for walks, you know, just giving myself time off, not going away anywhere, just having a break, because I felt like I needed it, because my head just felt like, I can't even describe it, like my brain's swollen, but it's not swollen, if that makes any sense. It's just so full of stuff. And during these 2 weeks breaks, I've been listening to, I kind of binge listened to Becca Syme's podcast. So if you don't know who Becca Syme is, she is a strengths coach for writers. She has a YouTube channel called The Quickcast. She's just started a podcast of the same name, and she has some courses out. She's all about coaching authors, not with their writing, but with their strengths and productivity. She's fantastic, wonderful lady. I'll put some links down below so you can go and check her stuff out. But I was listening to her podcast, and I just started at the beginning. It wasn't intentional, actually, to listen to the episodes that have helped, but she got to the topic of burnout. And wow. So I have taken the Clifton Strengths assessment, so I know what my top strengths are, and I know that one of them is achiever. And when she was talking about burnout for people with the achiever trait, it was like she was completely describing me, that I was overworking, couldn't work, so I got into this really bad cycle. So we get up at 5 in our household because we're crazy. I would work and I would procrastinate and I would drive myself absolutely nuts with it. I would waste time and not get enough. And you think, if you get up at 5 and you're able to work 5 in the evening in the office, that's 12 hours, obviously, with lunches and stuff in all that. So you'd get a lot done, and I would get to 5 o'clock and there'd be nothing done, or nothing that I wanted to do. And so I was sitting in the office till 6, 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night. Then because I'd been so late in the office, I'd not had any dinner, I was eating dinner late, stuff in the house hadn't been done, housework and all that stuff, and so I was having to do that late. And then because I felt like I'd been working all day, then I was watching YouTube YouTube and doing the, you know, my relaxing thing and not getting to sleep till midnight, sometimes 1 o'clock. And when you're getting up at 5, that's not a lot of sleep. So I've got myself into this terrible cycle, and the more I was in that cycle, the harder it was to work through the day. But I would sit there and think, what on earth is wrong with me? Why am I being like this? Why am I not getting any work done? Why am I on YouTube again? Why am I wasting time on Facebook? What is the problem? And it wasn't until I was listening to Becca's episode on burnout that it clicked. That is where I am. And it was a relief, because there's nothing wrong with me. I have just worked myself too hard, and we do. And I think a lot of us have it in burnout. I think we've been quite cruel to ourselves through COVID. And I was listening to a 5-minute focus video of Craig Martell. I'll link that too. He's talking about burnout, the exact same thing, talking about how we're not being good to ourselves. Even he's taking a step back on some things because he's not being good to himself, and his health is paying for it. So our physical health and mental health will pay for this overwork, and that is what I'm finding. So it's July as I record this, and part of my reset is to make a plan to dig myself out of burnout. And that might sound a bit weird, but I have the achiever trait and the focus trait. So making plans and goals and targets for me is what motivates me and gets me going. It might not work for you because you might not be wired the same way I am, but that is how it works for me. If I set a goal to get out of burnout, I'm going to get out of burnout. So a couple of weeks ago, we were just away for a couple of nights, and there was no household kids, there was no mess, there was no housework, and it was a perfect opportunity to just sit in a hotel room, take all my stuff with me, and make some plans and like really journal about what I was feeling, what I wanted, and where I was going. So I've done that, and I've made some plans of how I'm going to dig myself out of this creative hole. And one of the things I decided was I'm not going to write in July. So Becca Syme talks about if you have the achiever trait, not writing kind of might not help. It's okay to write a little bit. Or maybe if you've got a load of tasks that have built up over time, to go and clear those. Now that's what I have. I've got a load of tasks that feel super, super overwhelming because there's just hundreds of them. And if I write because I'm focused, I could say I'm going to get in my office for 5 o'clock in the morning and I'm going to write till 8. That's 3 hours. And then I'm going to take a break, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to work on some of these tasks for 3 hours. Now that does not work for me because I am a hyper-focused person. Once I sit down and write, that is what I will do. I will write from 5 in the morning till 5 o'clock in the evening, and I will not do anything in between. And if I try, it just doesn't work. So I know that I can't task switch through the day, and that's fine. So I'm taking the writing off the plate through July. I'm working on clearing all the things that have built up. They're only little things. They're not big massive projects or anything like that, but they are a pile of things that bother me. So that has been my plan. So what I thought I'd do today is talk you through my planners, because I love planners. I fell in love with them a few years ago. I discovered the bullet journal system, and then I discovered a lady, I can't even remember her name now, Carla or Cara. She has the Boho Berry YouTube channel. I don't think she posts on there anymore. She has old videos. They're amazing. The aesthetics of her journals are just wonderful, and I fell in love with planners through her. So planners are going to be a big bit of my recovery. So what I was going to do is I was going to talk you through my planners and kind of through the individual bits on how I'm going to recover, because like I said, July is going to be off, and then August, September I'm going to start writing again. And this is just talking about kicking myself off to that in a clearing way and a gentle way to look after myself, because I need to find a balance between work and life, and I don't have that. Work is all the way up here and life is all the way down there, and it's just not working for my mental health. I'm not going to show you any top-down view of my planners. 1, because there's a lot of personal stuff in there, but 2, they're really scruffy. I have decided that I'm not the neatest handwriting person, and I don't make things pretty. I make them how I like them. They are rough, they have lots of stickers in them that don't make sense. They just look good and feel good to me, and that's fine, but they're not these beautiful creations. And I know if I was going to put those in front of the camera directly, I would freeze up when trying to use them, because I would be trying to please you guys instead of myself, if you know what I mean. So I'm not going to give you a top-down view of them, but I am going to talk about, I hope that's okay. And one of the quotes, actually, just a side note, that I absolutely love is from J.K. Rowling, and she says, and it's going to be my quote of July, that rock bottom is where she built her foundations, because I'm not at rock bottom, but I feel down. So this is me building my foundations, and I'm going to talk you through my notebooks and how I am using them. The other thing I want to say is that I don't have any fancy planners. So there's no Erin Condren planners, there's no Starlogy planners, Hobonichi, all that. These are just planners that I like from stationery shops, from bookshops, places that I see, and I just bought them because I don't know. I think if I bought those kind of books, I'll be too afraid to use them because everything in them would have to be perfect. And I don't want that. So a lot of my books actually come from a company called Paper Chase, which is a stationery company here in England. And I just love their stuff. So this is my master notebook, really. So in here, I don't even know if you can see it, the camera's not focusing, but I literally have my quarters set up. What I'm posting in here is what I want to achieve. So I've done my goals in here, and I've said this previously, I am not doing number goals this year. So instead of saying my goal for my YouTube channel is to get to 1,000 subscribers, I've taken that away because I can't control how many people subscribe to my channel. I can't control how many people watch it. What I can control is how I turn up at the channel. So for example, my YouTube channel is to build a consistent habit with posting videos. So I've not even targeted myself that I have to do one video a week. It's to build a consistent habit. The goal is to do one video a week. By the end of the quarter, that's where I would like to be at, but it's to just build the consistent habit for my channel. My writing goal is, obviously I'm not writing in July, is kind of airy-fairy goal. It is to bring my writing to a place of passion and addiction again. So I've been working on my writing to bring the joy back into it and to take out the work side. So if you've ever read Elizabeth Gilbert's book Big Magic, she talks about not putting the pressure on your writing to pay your bills because that will kill creativity. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. It does. And so it is to bring the passion back into my writing. I don't really have a measure for that. It's just going to be something at the end that I will feel, and I will decide if I manage to do that. And then I have another social media goal I have a little writing community. It's to be consistent in there, to post accountability posts, to offer support to other writers. And so like I said, they're not number goals. And then I have 3 personal goals which are also written in here, and they are all about me. So one is weight and health. So that's a big thing. I'm trying to lose weight, I'm trying to eat healthy. So I have things like eat a whole foods plant-based diet, walk X amount of steps per day. They even have a goal for reading. So there is a numbers goal on here, and it's to read 6 books because I know that that's a number I can control. I can control how many books I will read. So the goal is to read 6 books. I think I'm through 2 so far, and I'm nearly through the second one. I'm just reading A Court of Thorns and Roses, and I am near the end. Fantastic book, by the way. The other one is fun. So I have set myself a target of doing something fun every day, be it gaming, reading, go for a walk, watching a movie, whatever. That is one of my goals, is to find the fun. And this is me having 6 goals, 3 either side, to try and find balance in my life. And for every goal in this book, I have a list of tasks. So for example, I have tasks like book 1, book 2, book 3, book 4, 5, 6, and I will check them off. So I'm already about to check off book 2. The tasks for the writing are like, I've got a list of the tasks I need to clear off. So there's like, do an audit on the back matter of all my books. So I've got every book listed, and so you've got Dead on Arrival, and then a list of things. So sort the paperback out, make sure the blurb's right, make sure it's got updated details in the book. So it's tasks like that for myself. For here, it's things like, video 1, edit, script, record, blah, blah, all that. So yeah, I have a list of tasks, and every week I go in here and I make a weekly spread. So from all the tasks that I've got, I make a weekly spread, and I put goals 1, 2 and 3, and then personal, and I pick tasks from each section that I'm going to work on that week, and any of my other tasks are just put to the side because I am not going to try and overwhelm myself with things. And then I have a weekly review page in here as well, where I'm writing about how it went for the week, journaling. Did I put too much on my plate? Because that is one of the things I do. Did everything go wrong? Was it something my fault, or was it just life happened? Was it something I could control? And it's just kind of journaling myself, how the week went and kind of take an in-depth view of how I'm working and what I want to change for next week, if there's anything I want to improve, if there's anything I want to pull back. So then I have this little notebook from a company called Kenji. It's just a dot grid book, nothing super special. I don't know if you can really see it. But so I don't know if you know Sarah Cannon from Heart Breathings. I think she mostly talks on her Sarah Cannon channel about this thing called 6 months for life, which is a brilliant idea, and it is herself working on herself for 6 months, trying to get just herself to where she wants to be in her personal life, her work life, mental health, all those. And I love that idea, so I kind of did my own thing. So this is what this notebook about. So I have this red book, which is the master book, and then I have loads of little notebooks and planners that feed into that. So this feeds into some of my personal goals. So I have a habit tracker in here, which I've been working through, and that's for the whole month. I then have a weekly tracker. So the weekly tracker is taking 10 things that I want to work on that week, and they're not 10 big things, they're 10 little things. Things like wake up at 5 o'clock, go to bed at 9 o'clock, that gets me my correct hours of sleep. Don't be scrolling social media. Eat a whole foods, plant-based diet. Do X amount of steps per day. You know, they are just simple things. Read, journal, fun. So I have got 10 things in boxes here, and my goal is to have an average score of 7 a week. So the way this is working is I have written a grid, written Monday to Sunday across the top, and then my 10 things, and every time I do something I check it off, and at the end of the day I count how many of those things, those habits I did, and then at the end of the week I'm going to add them all up and average them, and I want to have an average of 7. So it doesn't mean I have to hit all 10 every single day and be perfect. It's allowing for things going wrong and me missing things, and that's okay. But this is good habits in my life that I am trying to establish, and by checking them off I'm keeping myself accountable every day. So that is that notebook. My next one is just a paper chase diary. It's not a diary as a diary is. This is my daily writing it in the evening when I'm in bed. So it is so easy to focus on the negative things in our lives and the things that are bothering us, and to scribble them all down when we're journaling, that I wanted to do the other way. This is a positive diary. So every day I am going to, it could be called a gratitude diary. Every day I write in here something good that happened, something that made me happy, something I'm thankful for, something I'm grateful for, anything like that, something positive. So for example, on Tuesday all the kids were here and we had a board game night, and I literally wrote that as my entry. Board game night with the children, some family time, it was fantastic. Yesterday I actually did a little bit of writing because I fancied it, so that is in yesterday's entry, that I did some little bit of writing and got some things done and I felt really good. So that's all that is, and I hope in a year I'm going, and I actually started this one in January, so I'm hoping that in a year I've got like a full year of positive memories and good things. So if I'm feeling down and sad, this is a really good thing to flip back through of all the good things that happen. It's just a good place to have good memory. This one is, I don't know if you can see it, is a life journal. So I actually have picked this back up again because it did not go the way I was wanting it to. But if you've ever watched Journal with Chloe, and I think she's changed her channel name to Chloe Bunny, she has this thing called a life journal, and it's like an adult scrapbook, to be honest. So in here I have like got my vision board. And I went to watch Batman. Obviously I started this age ago, and what I thought about that. And so this is basically going to be my life journal, life events, documenting things, talking about books I've read. I actually did this when I was a kid by accident. I used to love scrapbooking. I'd write song lyrics, I would write movie quotes, I would write about characters, I would write about my day, I would put pictures of my friends in, I would put pictures of family in that, and that's what this is supposed to be. So this is going to be a place where I just have a little bit of fun, a little bit of journaling, a little bit of just documenting things in my life more in depth than the gratitude thing that I have. So talking about books that I read. So I'll link one of Chloe's videos down below, so because she does full flip throughs of hers, and you can see what kind of stuff she puts in, and it's that, and I absolutely love them, and I'm hoping this gets nice and fat and thick with postcards and pictures and all that stuff. And you might wonder what is the point of that one. because it's not work, but this is fun and joy. And so I was in trying to recover. I have looked back on myself to when years ago, before social media, to when I was really feeling the love for writing, for life, for everything, and what was I doing in my life. And it was things like this. So he's trying to bring the things that I enjoy and used to do for fun back into my life, instead of telling myself I can't do this because the time that I'm doing this I could be writing, because that is a habit I get into, is telling myself you shouldn't be having 3 hours of fun, you should be having 3 hours of writing. And that's not a good place. So that is to get that kind of mentality out of my head and to get into giving myself some fun. I'm definitely not going to open this one. This is my morning pages journal. I have a lot of journals and planners, by the way. It's just a notebook from a local supermarket. I liked it because it's got angel and stitch on it, and it's where I write my morning pages. If you don't know what the morning pages are, they are 3 pages of a stream of consciousness writing that you do every single morning, and that is just where I do those. It's basically just a morning journal, nothing special in there. This, on the other hand, is another notebook from Paper Chase. I like it just because it's so thick and it's so bendy, and it just pleased me to hold it. So this is the opposite of my morning pages, and it's night pages, and I don't know anyone that does this, but it was something that I found is really good. So basically, kind of like the morning pages, it's journaling, but it's journaling about my day, how it went, what struggles I had, what things I enjoyed, how I felt, what I want to do tomorrow, how I spent my time. It's just a place for me to journal, to maybe put some ideas, to just chat about how my day went. It's like having a best friend I can chat to in the evening and just talk about my day. In here, I'm going to put stickers, I'm going to put quotes. It's like another fun little place for me to just be, and I've done this for maybe a week and I'm really enjoying it. It's just a place to chat before I go to sleep with myself, because I've got another half, but I don't think he wants to listen to my witterings every night. But this is my place where I can just be me and just talk about things. So it's called Night Pages, and there's, unlike the morning pages, there's no I have to write 3 pages, etc. It is unstructured and just whatever I want. If I want to draw in it, if I want to doodle in it, that is what is going in here. And it's just to support me in the evening, kind of like a little bit of therapy to myself and stuff like that. So this one, also from Paper Chase, it's just a notebook. I bought it actually because it has the pen on the front. That's why I like it. I love this hardback. That's how I buy my notebooks, is how they feel. So this one is to support my creativity on the YouTube channel, on TikTok, on social media. So this is basically, and it's really scruffy inside. There's nothing pretty in this book. It is just me scribbling down my ideas for videos, scribbling scripts, making notes of things that I've seen that I might want to try later. It's basically just an ideas book, and for social media and everything, and a place to plan out my videos, maybe plan out my month worth of videos, editorial calendar, all that. So that's what this one is. One of my personal goals is weight loss and fitness and health. That is what this is. This is all my notebooks falling on the floor. So this is, don't know if you can see so much, is me documenting my weight loss journey. Basically in here I do my weights measurements and all that lot. I do my meal plan every week. I do my shopping list in here every week. I talk about weight loss struggles, if I'm having problems with emotional eating, because that is one of my issues, where it's coming from, what's bothering me. It's basically just a place to talk about food, diet, fitness. You know, if I've skipped the gym, why did I skip the gym? If I had a good gym session, what was great about it? It's tracking my improvements. It's basically just for my health and wellness, physical health and wellness, to chat about that. And I got this actually, I think I got it from Asda. And I bought it because it has a bumblebee on the front and I liked it. 2 more, sorry. So this is a composition notebook. I got this when I was in America. I just loved writing in these. So this is where I handwrite my writing. I told you all the notebooks lead into my every part of my life. So I like to handwrite my stories. First draft. There's just something about writing by hand that seems to slow me down and make the story so much better. So I will handwrite them, then I will type them up, and it gets me to redraft, and it just works. So that is all that is. It is just a notebook for my writing, and this one probably goes around with me everywhere. It goes in my bag, so I can just write, or I can scribble notes, or I can scribble ideas. It doesn't matter. It's not meant to be neat. Sometimes I've got full chapters written out, and sometimes I've got a summary of the chapter, and sometimes I've got a page that goes, well, what if this happened? That is all that notebook is. And then last but not least, I have a happy planner. So it's just a classic style happy planner. I put stickers in it. It's used as a happy planner. It's supposed to be used. I love this. Got it off Amazon. They're a little bit expensive because it's an American company, but we just like the happy planner, and my writing partner introduced me to them, so I have one. And this is literally just where I write my daily to-do list, and I take that, if you remember, the red book has all my tasks and the weekly thing. So in the red book I will have all the tasks that I want to tackle this week. This is where I divide them up into the days based on what I am doing in each day, because obviously some days are busier than others, and some days I can do more on the right work than I can on other days, if that makes sense. But yeah, it's just my daily to-do list, and I check it off, and it helps my achiever brain by ticking everything off at the end of the day. But that is all my planners, and these are set up with the aim of the things that I want to do to dig myself out of burnout. So like in the 6 months for life planner, I've got a lot of stuff on not going on social media, because I know that is one of my big problems in my handwriting. The stories, things that is based on a Neil Gaiman philosophy, which I have recorded a video for but I've not put out, so you will see it eventually. That is to take myself back to how I used to love writing, was in a notebook that I used to carry everywhere. Obviously I've got the weight one, which goes to my personal, so they're just a pile of notebooks that I have in different places around the house that are to bring into what I am trying to achieve to dig myself out of this. And I thought January was a good time, literally in every single book I've written 2023 mid-year reset, because some of these notebooks came from the beginning of the year and I've skipped pages, and I can see where I've like not done anything for weeks at a time. And sometimes it feels bad. If you're a notebook nerd like me, it can feel bad to not be so perfect in your notebooks as you want to be. So I have made in most of them nice pretty reset pages and reset myself and said, okay, it's July, it's halfway through the year, take a deep breath, start again, and start slowly and heal the things that I need to heal and work on the things I need to work on. And I am hopeful that I can do this for myself. And I'm sorry this has been such a rambly video, and I hope it's made some sense or some help to you as to if you need help with burnout. If you are in burnout, or you suspect you are, I really suggest listening to Becca Syme's podcast. She is just brilliant and insightful, and how you dig yourself out of burnout is going to be completely different to me. But all these planners and these goals and these tasks are how I do it, because if I can check it off, if I aim towards something, if I can write about it and focus on it, I can do it. The problem is when I'm not focused on it and it's not in my head, then I end up just passing through my days. Then I end up just passing through my days in this kind of brain haze where I am on social media, I'm not reading, I'm watching YouTubes instead of that, I'm not eating the best food, I'm not getting any movement into my day. It's just like, it becomes this unstructured, chaotic mess, and I am someone who needs structure, and that's what these planners give to me. And I'm hoping that that structure is what helps me get out of this burnout hole I'm in. But I will update you on how it's going, and like I say, I'm sorry if this video is a bit rambly and maybe doesn't make sense, and if it does make sense and you're in the same place as me, I hope it's giving you some help. But for now, I'm going to head off, go and eat some lunch, and go and tidy up and do some of those tasks that I've been after. I will see you later. Oh, before I go, don't forget to give this video a like, hit subscribe, and give that notification bell a good old smash, because that helps me. Thank you.